So what's nice about Photoshop is that you can fairly easily add or change the color of your image. You can add color to something that's black and white. You can make something that's color into black and white. You can completely swap out colors. Lots of stuff you can do. So I'm going to start by adding color to a picture that started off as being black and white. So this was a negative that was scanned in. So let's say I want to make the light bulb area of this a color, just to make it pop out. It can be kind of a focal point, be emphasized. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to select the area that I want to change. So I'm using that magnetic lasso tool, kind of zoomed in so I can really see what I'm doing. You want to do this fairly carefully so that way you don't have to go back and fix things later on. So normally I would go back and I would add in some of that in the corners just to make it a little bit neater. For now, will be sufficient. Okay, so to add color, at the very bottom of your toolbar, you'll see these little boxes of swatches. So it's two boxes, one on top of the other. When you click on the top box, you'll see a color picker pop up. And from here, you can kind of change and find a new color that you want. You'll click OK. And then from there, you'll click on the brush. And this is what you'll be painting with. So up top, you have your options. You have your brush size. So this size is pretty good for what I'm doing. The mode is very important. Automatically, when you start, it's going to be a normal mode. This is not so good. It's just going to do solid color on top of what you have and not take into consideration what you have in the background or your image itself. What you want is to have the mode be an overlay. So it's just going to lay a color over it, but still really hold tight to what was beneath it. Your opacity is how transparent or solid it is. So once again, I keep that between 50 and 75%. But you can definitely play around with that and change it if you need to. The flow is how intense the color goes on. So once again, you can kind of play around with that, change it, alter it. So right now, I'll just kind of click and paint. And you can see that the only things that are colored is what I have selected. So when you're doing this with the paintbrush, you want to try to get your entire area covered in one click. Because the second you go over it again, it's starting to make it look fake. And the third time it gets even faker, and then even faker, and it's going to turn all weird and neon-y and not natural or not what you intended. So you can kind of see the difference between 1 go ahead and 2. So you want it to look more natural. That's kind of the goal with this. Okay. So now if I zoom out, you can see that my light is a color and everything else is black and white. So let's say I want to make the little sidewalk area bricks a different color as well. So I'll go in. Once again, I'll select. You can use the magnetic tool. You can go freehand if you're feeling ambitious. Just because this is a little bit faster, we'll go this route. Okay, and now that area is selected. So if I want to make the bricks, let's make it a dark green. Like that color. Click OK. So now when I paint, you can see that they end up getting painted that green color. Okay, once again, I'm trying to do it with just one click. So that is adding color to something that is just black and white. Okay. If you have something that is in color, but you want to change it into black and white, you'll kind of be working with some of your adjustment layers. So I want to make the pumpkin over here, the one made out of fabric. It's a black and white. I'm just going to go ahead and select it. Okay. And then over in the adjustments, I would go into hue, saturation. And then the saturation is what makes it go black and white. And you can kind of have a slightly old-timey effect by having it almost black and white, but a little bit of that color peeking in. You can kind of play around with that. If you just flat out want to alter the color to something else, we have hue. And with hue, it kind of shifts your colors over. So you can kind of tweak it like that. Make it a little bit warmer, a little bit brighter, kind of alter it that way. That tends to look a little unnatural, so really be conscious of it if you're going that route. What's nice with color is that you can also do the paintbrush overlay. So this just flat out changes the color. And this looks a lot better than trying to adjust it with the hue saturation adjustment. It kind of does that. So you can just flat out paint something, but you can see that I'm getting some of that green on the white puffballs. So if you really want to keep your color changes into one area, please make sure you select the area you want, kind of go from there.